Okay, so this is a Mazda 3 2010 version 1.6 diesel UK spec. We're going to be doing a service on this vehicle, so we're going to change the engine oil, oil filter, air filter, and also the cabin filter. So this is the air filter, cabin filter, engine oil, and oil filter. Got it from this company. They had a sale on which was slightly cheaper than Euro car parts including delivery, so that's the one I went for. So I've got the car on ramps, and we're going to drain the oil, change out the oil filter, which is located below or underneath the air filter. You can't see it at the moment, but it's down there near enough on the top of the engine. So I'll show you how to remove the air filter and then change out the air filter and go from there. Okay, I've got the car on ramps, so we're going to go underneath the vehicle to locate the oil sump nut so you can drain the engine oil. So once you get underneath the vehicle, here you'll find a gap, and behind the gap you'll find this removable panel. So to remove this cover, there's a little screw here, and there's a little plug here that you can use, that you need to pull out. So with this one, just use a small flathead screwdriver to open it up. Once that's done, just use that to pry it open. Once you've removed the screws, what you need to do is pull it to the side and it will come off. So underneath here you'll see the nut that you'll need to remove to drain the oil. To remove the sump plug, you'll want a 21mm socket. I've already loosened it, so I've also placed a plastic tub underneath to catch the oil. Just wear gloves, because when the oil comes out, to cover you. So while that's draining out, we'll also open the oil cap on top of the engine to let the air in, so it'll let all the oil out. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up, and that should speed up the oil flow into the oil pan. While the oil is draining, we'll change out the air filter, but we'll also need to take out the box so we can get access to the oil filter. So it requires a 7mm socket to open the 4 bolts at the top. So 1, 2, 3, and there's one hidden at the back, which is down here, 4. So I'll open those up, then we'll go from there. So once I've opened up the bolts, this is a case of opening up the top. You can see it's a cylindrical air filter. You can just remove by just pulling out. See the condition of the air filter. So once we've removed the air filter, we also need to remove the box. So that's a simple case of unclipping these clips on the intake pipe, and also undoing the 2 bolts. There's one here, and there's one further down, just round about there. Just there. So once you've undone those 2 bolts, it's just a case of pulling it out. These bolts here and the one down below require an 8mm socket. Okay, I've just loosened these bolts, so you can see they're fairly long. They're the same sort of size as the bolts that hold in the cover. So you can see this one now down at the bottom here. You just need to open that. I used an extension arm and just opened it by hand rather than using the handle to actually do it. Okay, you can see that the air hose is fairly loose. You don't have to take the bolts all the way out. And these clips, you can use a screwdriver, but because it's a flexible hose, you can also just push the clips in, and the hose will come out. So once you've undone the hoses, then you just need to pull with a bit of effort, because there's, I'll show you when I remove this. So actually remove this box. So you just have to move this out of the way. There you go. You can see that the air box plug sits into that hole there, and also there's a little ledge. You can just hopefully see just there that it also sits in. So let me just show you. So this is the back of the box where this plug sits in the back, and this is where the hose goes in, and this arm here sits into that plug that's on the side there. So just remember, when you're taking it out to pull from the back, pull from the side to remove the air box. So now we've removed the air box, okay, so the oil filter is located there. I use an adjustable spanner to actually open it up, because the socket, the largest socket I've got, 24mm, doesn't fit on there, but I use an adjustable spanner to place it, to open it up. Okay, you can open it up with an adjustable spanner. Once it's opened, there it is. You can just turn it by hand to actually open it up. And okay, so this is what you get when you remove the oil filter. You get the plastic casing, you get the inside oil filter, and you can just about see an O-ring just there. So when you're replacing this filter, you also should replace the O-ring. It normally comes with the filter. This plastic casing comes with the car. With the Mazda 6, which is another video I've done, you'll see that it has a metal casing and the whole filter will be replaced. With this one, you just need to replace the inside cartridge, and this plastic bit just goes back in. So we're going to replace that. So we have the oil filter that needs replacing, so we just need to pull it out. So that's the old oil filter. This is the new one. You get different brands. You can get MAN, you can get this one. This came with the engine oil. So as I said, you get an oil ring with it, and you get the oil filter. Okay, so once you remove the oil filter, you just need to replace the O-ring. The O-ring can be just removed using a flathead screwdriver, taken off, and the new one put on. It's not very easy to see because it's the same colour, but there you go. So now we're going to put the oil filter back in. We're not going to put it back in the casing, and I'll show you why. So the reason why I didn't put the oil filter back in the plastic casing is because of this plastic stub. If I lift up the air hose, and you can see inside the oil filter casing, that hopefully you can see that's where it goes. That's where the oil comes out. That's where the plastic stub goes. So you just need to line up this plastic stub inside there, and so the oil filter won't rotate inside. So that's gone in now, and that you can see that's not moving. So we'll just replace the plastic container, and that's it. So putting back the air filter can be a little bit tricky because you have to move all the hoses away. So the first one, you have to make sure that the side arm goes in, and then the bottom one goes in. Okay, so that's both the side arm and the back of the airbox plastic bits that have gone in. These two will line up, and it's just a case of sliding these connections back in. There you go. We'll just tighten these bolts back in and put in the new air filter. Okay, so once you've installed the air box, you need to install your air filter. So the big hole fits in to where the hose inlet is, and this back plate here, there are two. There's this one here, and hopefully you can see there's a second one here. That's the outer one, that's the inner one, and you have to make sure that it sits in, the outer one sits in the outside of here. So you'll see there's a lip. Let me see if I can get in closer. So you can see that there's a lip here. So the outer side sits there, the inner side will sit on there. So you just have to make sure that the outside will sit on this ledge here, and these two plastic bits here will stop it from moving. Also, on this air filter, at the back there's a plastic bit here which will sit in between these two, stop it from rotating. Okay, once that's in, it's just a case of putting on the cover and then tightening up the sump bolt and putting more engine oil in. Okay, so I'm about to put the air cover back on. You just need to make sure that this outer seal sits on the outside of the air box. So like that. So the outer part of the air filter sits on the outside, and the bolts also line up, which they do. Okay, so you just need to put the bolts back in, and that's it. So okay, I've replaced the air filter, oil filter. I've put the sump plug back in and put the cover back on. Now I'm just going to fill the engine up with oil. So I've put the oil cap back on after it drained, so that nothing goes in. And with this company, if you order from, is it OP Oils, I think that's how it's pronounced, you also get a disposable oil funnel. It's made out of card. So once that's done, you can start filling it up with engine oil. So the engine oil that I'm using is Miller's Long Life 5W30. At the time it was on sale, slightly more expensive than Euro Car Parts' own brand Triple QX, but the overall cost compared to Euro Car Parts with all the parts was a few quid cheaper, including delivery. So that's why I got this. So this is a fairly good make. So I'm going to put in about 3.5–4 litres, take the car down, have a look at the engine oil, and then top up if I need to. Okay. Okay, so I've taken the car off the ramp, turned it off, left it alone for a few minutes, checked the oil level using the dipstick, and filled it up to a suitable level between minimum and maximum, and that's it. So just need to change out the pollen filter or the cabin filter. Okay, so to change the cabin filter, we're on the passenger side of the car at the front. This is a glove box, so if we go underneath the glove box we'll find this plastic shield. You got two clips, one here, and all you need to do is push them in. One on that side and one on that side, and take it out. So these clips here, all you need to do is push them in and they come out. So on that side all you need to do is push it in. So once that has been removed, you need to remove the side panel. So that's easy to do. All you have to do is just pull and pull, and on this side is just stuck in. So this bit here is where that slides into. So you can see just slides into there. Okay, so once you're here, there are two screws to undo. One is here, which is I've already undone, and one's just up there. So just undo those two screws. So once you remove those two screws, you can just pull this off, and inside, hopefully you should see the two filters. It's probably a little bit dark. So I'm going to slide out one filter. That is quite dirty. So when you've removed it, it's got the foam at the top, slightly different to the other one which has no foam, and it's got some rails at the bottom that guide the other filter in. So the new filter has foam at the top, rails at the bottom, so we're just going to put it in. So just push that all the way up like so, and then put the new filter in. I need two hands for this, so I'm going to turn the camera off. Okay, that wasn't too hard. It was just pushing the other one at the top, sliding that one in, and all we have to do now is a reverse process to put everything in. So that's everything done. Oil change, oil filter, air filter, and cabin filter for the Mazda 3 2010 1.6 diesel UK spec. Thank you.